Good morning. Breath Reclamation Project. We breathe 25,000 times a day. We have 60,000 miles of blood vessels in our body, 25 trillion red blood cells. In each of those red blood cells, we have 270 million hemoglobin cells. Each hemoglobin cell carries 4 oxygen molecules. We've got plenty of oxygen. But we need to let that oxygen release from the red blood cells into the working body, into the working muscles and organs. So the first thing we do when we enter this world is we take a breath. And of course, the last thing we do is we leave a breath. And in between the first and the last is filled with what? Breathing. So we want to breathe through our nose predominantly. Tape our mouth at night with paper tape so that it ensures we're not mouth breathing at night, thereby exposing ourselves to cold air, constricting our blood vessels, a third of the time of our lives, breathing incorrectly. So when we breathe through our nose with our diaphragm, we engage nitric oxide, which is produced in the nose and in the blood vessels. And we capture and are less sensitive to carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide allows us also to, it's an antiviral, antibacterial, just like nitric oxide. And nitric oxide, NO, and carbon dioxide they are vasodilators. So we're dilating the 60,000 miles of blood vessels, thereby increasing the blood flow. So I want to talk about the nose unblocking exercise. I've done it before, but I'll just briefly describe it. People say their nose is blocked up. Well, when you breathe through your nose habitually now, your nose will remain unblocked. For the most part, you might occasionally get a little stuffy nose for a minute, but you'll know how to clear it. Nose unblocking exercise. Take a breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Hold your nose and bob your head until you feel a strong air hunger, medium to strong. It looks like this, and it really works. Until you feel a strong air hunger, and then you gently breathe through your nose, thus capturing the nitric oxide and carbon dioxide. Take a couple breaths and repeat that up to 5 times. And you can do that 5 times a day if you're having trouble with your nose being blocked. And one of the reasons your nose will be blocked is because you're habitually breathing through your mouth. Plus, I might add, you might be eating too many processed carbohydrates habitually. So that's the nose unblocking exercise. Another way to unblock your nose and also increase your tolerance for carbon dioxide is in your walks, which I assume you guys are walking 30 minutes a day. Well, maybe not everybody. I don't walk 30 minutes a day. I do other things, but you can count your steps on your exhalation and increase the number of steps you take during your exhalation. And for greater oxygenation, which you'll feel breathless, but you'll have greater carbon dioxide. And then when you start breathing again, the oxygen will rush through your veins and into your cells. So you can hold your nose during your steps. And it's going to take work. The gold standard is to get 80 steps to 100 steps. And most of us aren't there. It takes me a little bit of dedicated practice to get to that point. So, Ujjayi or Ujjayi, I don't know, don't speak that language, but Darth Vader breath. The purpose of that is to increase or decrease the rate, the speed of our breath, and also increase the pressure in our lungs. When we increase the pressure in our lungs, it's easier for the alveoli to take up oxygen. It's greater for greater gas exchange, and it's easy to do. It takes a little practice, but it's uh, diaphragmatic breathing, and it sounds and looks something like this. You're going to constrict your throat. You're going to try to make that Darth Vader sound, and you're going to go slow and low. It goes like this. Do another one here. So that's the Darth Vader breath. It both relaxes you and it energizes you. It gives you more pressure in your lungs. Your diaphragm extends further down. It's when you're breathing in, and then with the pressure when you're breathing out, your diaphragm, normally for an exhalation, it's just a relax, and your diaphragm goes up to its resting place. But when we do the Darth Vader breath, we're pushing it up a little further, and therefore when we breathe normal again, we get a deeper breath because our lungs are more emptied out of the old air. So there are two things there I just showed you. And we live our lives most of the time out here in our minds, planning, organizing, which is good. I need to do more of that. But we live our lives out here in our minds. And all the while, we're breathing, our heart is pumping, we have life's energy coursing through our bodies. So it's important for us to put things in perspective. Breath is life, life is breath. Without breath, there would be no life. Most of us don't give two thoughts to our breath. Don't give our breath a second thought. Most of us don't give it a first thought. Well, let's give it a little bit. Let's give it a little credit where credit is due. Let's learn to breathe functionally, to breathe nasally, which means deep, slow, and low. It oxygenates our whole body. And when we start doing this, like one of my programs is to do this, to just concentrate, focus on your breath 5 minutes, 5 times a day, 5 days in a row for 5 weeks. When we start doing that, we realize that our mind flits and flutters, and that's okay. Your mind is a thinker. Your mind thinks, duh, huh? And we can't stop our mind, and we shouldn't. We can, however, focus our mind. There's 3 little cute sayings I like. One is like from the Eastern people. Your mind is a monkey, and your breath is a horse. So train your monkey to ride the horse. I like that one. There's another one. I don't know where I got it. Maybe I just thought of it. Your breath is the wind. Your mind is the arrow. Let the arrow float with the wind. And another one. You're welcome. Your breath is the ocean waves. Your mind is the surfer. Let your mind ride the waves. Pretty exciting, huh? Something you do 25,000 times a day. It's not like you have to set time aside, even though I'm asking in my program to set 5 minutes at a time aside just to focus. I mean, you can focus on your breath walking, driving, watching a television movie, especially if it's a stressful one. It'd be a good practice for you to put your attention on your breath. You can watch the show, but you can control your emotions thereby, or attempt to. When you're talking with someone, engage, look at them, especially like if they're angry and being a jerk or something. I mean, hopefully you're not the one being a jerk, but you're talking, your boss is yelling at you. Listen, but put your attention on your breath, and you will master that situation. So my program is engineered so that we learn to observe our breath in every situation in life. Give it a try. Do me a favor. Shut your mouth and save your life. Coach Couch out.